The real violent extremists are the freaks who run the U.S. empire. The real violent extremists are the oligarchs and imperialists who run the U.S. centralized empire from both mainstream parties. Not Antifa, not trans people, not anti-genocide activists, not protesters against ICE. The extremists who are inflicting the real violence and abuse in our world are the ones committing genocide, starting wars, backing blockades, imposing starvation sanctions, arming proxy conflicts, circling the planet with hundreds of military bases, and flirting with nuclear Armageddon. Donald Trump is a violent extremist. Joe Biden is a violent extremist. Keir Starmer is a violent extremist. Benjamin Netanyahu is a violent extremist. Oligarchs who knit themselves into the murderous imperial power structure like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Miriam Adelson, and Larry Ellison are violent extremists. The Democratic Party is a violent extremist organization. The Republican Party is a violent extremist organization. War profiteers like Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, and Northrop Grumman are violent extremist organizations. Empire management firms which facilitate imperial violence and control like Palantir, Oracle, and Starlink are violent extremist organizations. There is no terrorist group, foreign or domestic, which can hold a candle to the death toll and human suffering that has been inflicted by the Western Empire. I think it's worth remembering this, as the Empire harnesses the emotional hysteria around Charlie Kirk's death to whip up a moral panic about violent radical leftists in the United States, in order to justify increased authoritarian measures to stomp out political dissent. The real violence is coming from the powerful manipulators who want you consenting to these measures. The call is coming from inside the house. The U.S. and its allies have killed millions of people in their wars of aggression since 9/11 and displaced tens of millions. Their cruel sanctions have killed tens of millions since 1970. Their policies of imperialist extraction force populations throughout the global South to live lives of endless poverty and toil. They are currently perpetrating a genocide in full view of the entire world. These are the violent extremists. The only reason they are able to claim that some kid wearing a keffiyeh or a balaclava is a violent extremist while they themselves are not is because they control the narrative. The plutocrats who benefit from the imperial status quo own and control the media platforms and information systems which people use to learn about the world, and they use this narrative control to frame the imperial status quo as normal, and any opposition to it as freakish extremism. That's the only reason a Westerner who supports genocide, warmongering, militarism, and imperialism gets to call themselves a centrist or a moderate. They live in an empire whose propagandists actively normalize imperial abuses while spinning any deviation from this violent madness as abnormalities on the radical political fringe. But it's a lie. Genocide is violent extremism. Mass murder is violent extremism. Siege warfare is violent extremism. Global tyranny is violent extremism. Peace is moderate and normal. Justice is moderate and normal. Health is moderate and normal. Equality is moderate and normal. Equitable wealth and resource distribution is moderate and normal. The genocidal, ecocidal, omnicidal nightmare we see before us in our world today is what it looks like when the violent extremists are in charge.